Most of business is about negotiation and persuasion. You're persuading people to use your product or service. You're persuading vendors to give you a good deal or to do business with you. There's a lot of persuasion and negotiation that goes on. In negotiation, people talk about what are called zero-sum games. What that basically means is there's one win, and either I get it or you get it. And what that means is, if I win, you lost. It's not a big step from that to your loss is my win. And I've actually seen this in corporate negotiations where people stopped trying to find out, to get what it is they wanted, and all they were doing was trying to prevent the other person from getting what they wanted. If you lose, that means I must have won. And that's, most small business people realize that's no way to do business. Small business people are usually looking for what we call the win-win. Everybody wants, you get what you need, I get what I need, now we're happy. Well, if there's a win-win, then logically you can assume that there'd be a lose-win, a win-lose, and then the one nobody would choose, a lose-lose. Well, Stephen Covey in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People adds another paradigm, the win-no deal, where either we create a win-win or we choose not to do business. So an example of how all of those would work is, let's say you want to hire me, and you can afford to pay this much. I need to earn this much. And we're not playing games with each other. This is really what it is. This is what you can afford. This is what I need. We don't have a win-win. So the normal paradigms are, okay, I can convince you to pay what I need. From your perspective, that's a lose-win, because I'm getting what I wanted, but you're paying too much. You could convince me to work for less. From your perspective, that's a win-lose. You're paying what you can afford, and I'm not getting what I wanted. But what most people do is, here we've got this situation where you need this and I need that. Most people go for the compromise. Let's split the difference. You pay a little more and I'll take a little less. That compromise, that's the lose-lose nobody was going to choose. You're not getting what you wanted, you're paying too much. I'm not getting what I wanted because I'm not making enough. And the problem with the lose-lose is that when we do that, even though we both came into this negotiation with our eyes open and we think we made a logical choice here, business choices aren't made logically. We make emotional choices. It's how human beings work. And then we try to find facts to back up what our gut told us to do. So here we are. You're paying too much and starting to resent me in a very short period of time. I'm not earning enough, and now I'm resenting you because you don't pay me enough. And before long, we've soured our business relationship, and it's going to be very complicated for us to stay happy. It's not likely that I'm ever going to convince you to pay me what I really need to make, or that you're ever going to convince me to work for this little, even if situations change in the future and we could create a win-win because we're already here. So if we can't make a win-win, the other option is the no deal. You can only afford this, I have to make this. As much as we'd like it, we can't do business together, and we both go away happier than if we chose this lose-lose. And at least with the no deal, we can come back later and make a win-win out of it. Maybe you get some funding and now you can afford what I need. Or maybe, my situation changes and I can create some economies of scale or something like that, and I can work for less. But maybe you find someone else to work with, I find someone else to work with, and we create other win-wins. But either way, if we can't create a win-win to begin with, choosing the no deal lets us walk away and create win-wins later in time or other places with other people, and we don't end up in this stuck in this lose-lose situation that makes us both unhappy. Another side benefit of the win-no deal is that while you always like to believe that everyone you're negotiating with is negotiating in good faith, sometimes you're going to negotiate with people who are trying to take advantage, get something for nothing. If you go into a negotiation with the idea that either we create a win-win or I walk away, if you've given yourself permission to not do this deal, that's incredible power in any negotiation. And if you're looking for a win-win with a person that's negotiating in good faith, you'll find one. If you're looking for a win-no deal with someone who's not negotiating in good faith, you'll either find a win-win or you'll protect yourself from their bad faith. They'll see that you've given yourself permission to not do this deal, and they'll either negotiate in good faith or they'll go find somebody else. So it can be a powerful tool. I'm not real fond of compromise. Of course, there are always exceptions. There are times when compromise is something that you need to do, but I think compromise should be a last choice, not a first choice. And it's kind of become the default that people think, if you're there and I'm here, we should compromise. When in school, in computer schools and the math classes I used to teach, they had these things called Venn diagrams, where you've got this circle here that's got stuff in it, and this circle here, let's say this circle's got you and your talents and skills and abilities, how you do business as a vendor. And here I am, this prospective client, with all my skills, abilities, talents, what I brought. And so where they overlap, the things that we have in common, what I think about business and what you think about business, where they intersect, that's compromise. That's where we each give something up in order to be able to do business together. And that's how people normally are. I figure out what you do, and I figure out what I need that's in the little circle of what you do, and then that's what we do. We just choose to do business where we overlap. But because of the circles overlapping, the 1 and 1 here, 1 circle plus 1 circle, will never equal 2. It might equal like 1.5 or something like that. But what about all this stuff that's outside the circle? All these ideas I have as a customer about what I might want from you, all the things that you know as a business professional about what I might need from you. Synergy is the goods. Synergy is where we each accept something new to do business together. And so this idea that you have that I've never thought of, you can help me as a client because I'm willing to listen to this thing that's outside of the circle. It's a new thing. My idea as a customer, here's something I wish you could do for me. Your willingness to listen to a new idea, when we have synergy, instead of giving up something to do business together and getting 1 plus 1 is 1.5, we each accept something new, and our 1 and 1 can be 11 or some other bigger number. So rather than looking for compromises, always looking for what we already do and know, if we're always looking for something new, looking for what the other person knows that we don't, it lets us expand and make that 1 plus 1 be 11.